The Cabin in the Woods unleashes deadly secrets that could end the world. Today I'll recap a horror comedy film, The Cabin in the Woods, so keep your eyes wide open and stay safe. The movie opens with a pair of middle-aged men walking through a facility. They're chatting about ordinary things like marriage and having kids, while a younger woman in a lab coat tries to tell them about a problem at the Stockholm facility. The two men don't seem too worried about what she's saying. They just mention that the Japan facility will handle things fine and that their US facility is usually in second place. As they hop onto a golf cart to leave, the younger of the two men invites the older one over to his place for the weekend. The scene shifts to a room in a college town where Dana and Jules are talking about school. Dana shares that she had an affair with one of her professors, but it ended badly. Jules' boyfriend Kurt walks in and tosses a football at the girls. It flies out the window, and Kurt's friend Holden catches it down below. The guys are there to pick up the girls for a long weekend at a lakeside cabin that Kurt's cousin owns. Dana finishes packing, and they all head downstairs to load up the RV. Just as they're about to leave, their friend Marty pulls up in his car, smoking from a giant bong that turns into a travel mug. We cut back to the video screens in the facility where the two middle-aged men, Sitterson and Hadley, are watching everything that's happening. It looks like they've been secretly drugging the kids in different ways, like using hair dye on Jules and messing with Marty's stash of stuff. They don't explain why they're doing this though. The group is getting close to the cabin when they stop for gas and directions. The gas station attendant Mordecai is old, grumpy, and seems a little crazy. He tells them they won't have trouble getting to the cabin, but it's getting back that they should worry about. The kids laugh at him, but he gets sarcastic and rude, even calling Jules a bad name. It almost leads to a fight, but in the end, they all get back in the RV and drive away. They have to go through a tunnel in the mountain to reach the cabin. As they drive through, a bird tries to fly across the ravine, but crashes into an invisible barrier. The bird is electrocuted and falls, most likely dead. Back at the facility, the phone rings and Hadley picks it up. It's Mordecai calling. He tells them that the college kids are on their way to the cabin and warns them about how the reveler almost messed things up. Mordecai gets upset when he realizes Hadley put him on speakerphone, so he hangs up while Hadley and Sitterson laugh. The group arrives at the cabin and starts unpacking. It's clear that they're still being watched by cameras set up by the people at the facility. Holden is in his bedroom getting ready to swim when he notices a strange, ugly painting on the wall. He takes it down and finds a window hidden behind it that leads into the next room where Dana is staying. Dana starts to take off her clothes, not knowing that the mirror in her room is showing everything to Holden. Holden quickly runs into Dana's room to warn her, and they decide to switch rooms. Now, Dana can see Holden, and it's obvious she likes what she sees. All the people at the facility have gathered to place bets on what kind of fate the group in the cabin will face. Hadley is really hoping for the merman to be chosen. A new agent named Truman is shocked by how the others are acting. Lynn, a more experienced agent, explains to him that she understands his surprise, but he shouldn't judge the others for their casual attitude. Truman still questions Hadley and Sitterson about what's happening, feeling that it's unfair, though everyone else seems to know how serious the situation really is. At the cabin, everyone gathers in the living room and starts drinking. Marty keeps smoking the pot he brought. They're all getting pretty drunk and start playing a game of truth or dare. Jules is dared to kiss a wolf head mounted on the wall. Then it's Dana's turn. She picks dare, but just as she's about to do it, the basement door suddenly swings open, scaring everyone. They dare her to go down into the basement. Dana agrees, and the rest of them follow. There's a ton of strange stuff down there. Dana picks up a diary, Kurt grabs a puzzle ball and tries to open it, and Jules finds a wedding dress and starts putting on the necklace that goes with it. Marty is looking at a conch shell, and Holden is staring at a jewelry box that opens to reveal a dancing ballerina. But then, all of a sudden, the people at the facility are silent, sitting on the edge of their seats, waiting for what will happen next. Dana says, "Hey guys, listen to this." Everyone puts down what they were looking at and walks over to her. She reads from the diary, which belonged to a young girl who was badly hurt by her father. At the end of the diary, there's something about how they will all return once someone reads some Latin words. Marty tells them not to read it, but just as he says this, he hears a voice telling Dana to read the words. No one else seems to hear it. Despite Marty's warning, Dana reads the Latin out loud. Suddenly, outside, the family from the diary rises from their graves, looking like zombies. At the facility, it turns out that the maintenance crew and the new intern won the bet with their choice of redneck zombies. Hadley is really disappointed because he won't get to see the merman. At the cabin, the kids head back to the living room. Jules and Kurt are acting very differently. Jules is dancing in front of the fire in a way that feels strange, and Kurt is being rude and insulting about his girlfriend. Marty notices this, but the others just brush off his concerns. Kurt and Jules decide to go for a walk. Thanks to some strange pheromone fog, they end up starting to kiss and get close in the woods, but suddenly the zombies show up. Jules is stabbed in the hand, but Kurt helps her escape. He gets stabbed in the shoulder, but he survives. Unfortunately, Jules is caught again, and beheaded while Kurt watches. He manages to run back to the cabin to escape. As Jules dies, Hadley and Sitterson quietly say what sounds like a prayer. Hadley pulls a lever, and blood starts flowing into a stone tablet that has the outline of a female figure on it. It's the whore. The ground begins to shake. Marty hears a voice in his head and goes outside. He sees Kurt running toward him, fighting off a zombie. They both rush back inside and lock the door. Kurt tells everyone that Jules is dead. They all agree to barricade the house and stick together. But then, a voice from the facility tells them to split up, though only Marty hears it. He begs the others not to separate, but no one listens. Dana, Holden, and Marty each go into their own rooms. The doors lock behind them right away. No one at the facility can figure out why their tricks aren't working on Marty. He's not following the plan, and he can hear the voices. They're worried he's going to mess everything up. In Marty's room, he gets startled and breaks a lamp. As he picks it up, he finds a hidden camera. This proves everything he's been saying about the place. He's about to look deeper when a zombie bursts through the window and drags him outside. They struggle, and Marty is stabbed in the back. He's pulled out of sight, and horrible noises follow. Poor Marty. The people at the facility are relieved that Marty won't be ruining their plan. However, they're still trying to figure out why their drugs didn't work on him. They find out that when they were adding drugs to his pot, they missed one of his stashes, and what he was smoking made him immune to their tricks. Blood pours into the outline of the reveler. The ground begins to shake. A zombie tries to break through Dana's window. Hearing the noise from the next room, Holden breaks the glass between their rooms and pulls her into his. They discover a door in the floor that leads to another room in the basement. It looks like this is the room where the father hurt and tortured the girl from the diary. They try to find a way out, but the door won't open. Just then, one of the zombies finds them and stabs Holden in the back. Dana fights back, stabbing the zombie again and again, just as Kurt opens the door from the other side. The three of them rush into the RV. The door slams shut, and outside a bloody handprint is left on the glass. As they head toward the tunnel, Hadley realizes that the demolition crew never set off the explosion that causes the tunnel to cave in and block their exit. The trio panics, desperately trying to escape. Meanwhile, Hadley and Sitterson are just as frantically trying to fix their mistake. The RV makes it halfway through the tunnel when it starts to collapse. They quickly reverse and manage to escape just in time. Kurt has a dirt bike in the back of the RV and decides to jump over the ravine to get help. Just like the bird, he crashes into the invisible barrier and dies. Blood pours into the outline of the jock. Dana and Holden see what happened to Kurt and realize that Marty was right all along. They head back toward the cabin, trying to figure out a way to escape. Holden is suddenly stabbed through the head, and blood fills the outline of the scholar. The RV crashes into the lake. It turns out there was a zombie in the RV. Dana fights off the zombie, climbs out through the overhead hatch, and swims to the surface. She makes it onto the pier, but the zombie comes out of the water and starts attacking her. Back at the facility, the staff are celebrating a successful night. It turns out that the Virgin doesn't have to die for the plan to work. This is a big deal because all the other sites, like Japan, Germany, etc., have failed to complete the ritual. They open a bottle of champagne and start celebrating. Then, the red phone rings. Hadley answers it. A tense conversation follows. Apparently, the rules weren't followed. One of the others is still alive. If Dana dies first, they will lose. Dana is still getting beaten up by the zombie dad. Out of nowhere, Marty shows up and hits the zombie with his giant bong until it falls into the water. He grabs Dana, and they run into the woods, with the zombies chasing them. Marty jumps into one of the graves the zombies came out of and starts digging. Dana is confused, not knowing what's happening. Suddenly, Marty opens a door, and they fall into a room just before the zombies can grab them. Marty tells Dana that everything was set up from the start. He found an access panel and started messing with the wires inside, which is why the tunnel never exploded like it was supposed to. Marty shows Dana an elevator and figures out that someone sent the zombies to attack them. Dana isn't sure about getting into the elevator, but they don't have any other choice. As the elevator moves, they look through the glass window and see many other elevators, each with different supernatural creatures connected to the strange items in the basement of the cabin. The sugar plum fairy, the puzzle ball, the doll faces, the killer bride, and more. Dana realizes the connection and figures out that the group chose their own deaths, meaning the zombies. Meanwhile, the observers are in a panic because Dana and Marty have made their way into the facility. They quickly make plans to kill Marty in order to keep the sacrificial deaths on track. They pinpoint the elevator number, and an armed guard is sent to stop them, ordered to kill both of them, with Marty first. However, the guard gets distracted when he sees a zombie corpse in the elevator, and Dana and Marty manage to kill him. They run down the hallway, but a female voice comes over the PA system, sympathizing with their situation, but saying they still must die. More armed guards appear and start shooting at them. Dana and Marty run into what looks like a control room and hide. Dana notices a control panel that monitors the elevators with the monsters inside. As soldiers with guns and other weapons attack, They start pressing random buttons. Dana finds a big button that says, Purge System, and when she presses it, alarms go off throughout the whole facility. The guards freeze in fear, and suddenly, all the elevators open. One by one, monsters pour out and begin attacking the soldiers. The monsters flood the facility, killing everyone in sight. Dana and Marty are trapped by the monsters, but they manage to escape through a hole in the wall where the destruction has made a path. In the facility's control room, Hadley, Lynn, and Truman are all killed by the monsters. Hadley finally sees his merman just before it kills him. Sitterson manages to open an escape hatch and climbs into a stone hallway, but he is fatally stabbed by Dana. This is the same place where Dana and Marty have ended up. Before Sitterson dies, he tells Dana, kill him. Dana feels scared and unsure, but Marty gives her a gun he took from a dead guard. Marty and Dana find themselves in a room filled with stone tablets, each with an outline of a person. Dana realizes there are 5 tablets, one for each of them: Dana, Marty, Holden, Kurt, and Jules. Everything that's happened to them has been part of a ritual sacrifice. The director, voiced by Sigourney Weaver, appears, and they recognize her voice from the PA system. She explains the facility's purpose and what's been going on. She says the ritual is older than anything known to mankind. Even she and her peers don't know everything about it. The ritual is done worldwide to appease the dark gods who once ruled the earth. She tells them that the monsters they've seen are nothing compared to these ancient beings, and both Dana and Marty realize they are standing over a pit leading to where the old gods are sleeping. The director explains that the ritual is designed to keep the dark gods asleep, and it must follow specific rules. There are 5 sacrificial victims: the whore, Jules, the scholar, the athlete, the fool, also called the reveler, and the virgin. The order of their deaths doesn't matter, as long as the whore is the first to die and the virgin is the last one alive. The director says it is up to the gods whether the virgin, Dana, lives. If the sacrifice isn't completed, the director warns that the old gods will wake up and destroy humanity. She says Marty must die to save the world. Marty, however, replies that if a violent ritual is needed to save mankind, maybe mankind isn't worth saving. Marty is hurt when Dana raises the gun to kill him. She is conflicted, but she doesn't want the world to end. Suddenly, a werewolf attacks Dana and mauls her badly. When Dana drops the gun, Marty grabs it and shoots the werewolf, causing it to run off, wounded. The director tries to kill Marty, but the zombie girl from the diary appears and kills the director instead. Marty kicks them both into the pit with the gods. Dana and Marty make peace and share a joint, thinking about the end of the world. The ground starts to shake and crack open. The cabin in the woods begins to shake. A huge hand bursts up through the cabin and slams down onto the ground in front of it. This is the first of the old gods rising to the surface.